Wellness begins where play, pleasure, and the parasympathetic meet. You were born to be you, and you were born to be well. Your body is always trying to find its way back to health. Now, here's the host of Your Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Koopersmith.
Hi, my friends. Welcome to this brand new podcast, Your Healing Playground. This is a podcast where we are going to discuss personalized healing, precision medicine, and way more than what we call in modern society medicine. Because I really believe that you were born to be you. Yes, you, the individual that you are, and you were born to be well. And when we focus on wellness instead of fear of illness, we are more likely to stay well. And this is going to be a podcast for all of you collectively and simultaneously each individual one of you, because I'm hoping that you get to discover for yourself which healing tools fit you, because you are you and we're all the same in the sense that we're all water droplets. But simultaneously, water comes in all forms. And as we know, snowflakes, we've been taught, are all individuals. So we are the same and different simultaneously. And I'll go back to this over and over again, the duality and opposites and how they live together. So let me tell you, we heal and we grow when we play. Think children, they're always growing and they heal so fast, right? They get a cut by the next day, it's gone. It's amazing, right? So how can we make ourselves more like a child? So we heal and we grow when we play. And the best playgrounds for adults and children are those that have defined limits, and with so many and expansive choices of play experiences. So limit and limitlessness, again, see the polarity, is what we're always going for. Because when you and your nervous system are so safe, that's the state where healing and growth and expansion is possible. In this episode, you're going to get to know me. Who am I? Why am I talking to you? What are my credentials? Who is this random Dr. Tina Koopersmith? So let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm a witchy doctor. I blend spirituality and science because I believe we are energy and matter, and the ancients and the moderns can come together to blend an experience unlike what we know in the logic world. And it gives us this more immersive experience. I'm about blending healing of the mind, the body, the emotions, and the spirit so that we get a more comprehensive, integrated healing. I have 34 years of practicing gynecology, reproductive endocrinology, and infertility, fertility. And that's where it all started. It actually started way back before then, and I'll go into that later. But in the last 10 years, I've really learned to incorporate so much more than just Western medicine as an integrative medicine physician, as a coach, as an author and a speaker, because guess what? Stories heal. Yeah, and I'm a mom. So at my basis, I'm all about healing. And I'm about love. I love my patients and I love my kids. Some of my kids joke that maybe I love my patients more than them because I was always present with them, my children, but never fully present because I was always also taking care of patients. So I've been playing in the healing space for over 40 years, and I grew up with a surgeon dad. So really my whole life has been about healing. And let me tell you that the things that I've learned that are not taught in medical school are some of the most important parts of healing. And when you look at nature, we're all about logic and science in the world today. But science is the study of the unknown. It's the study of nature. And when we look at nature, we see that monocultures and monopolies never ideal. Nature loves diversity, and so does healing. So we need to begin to pull from the ancient and the modern, the mind and the body, energy and matter, to help you, my friends, my family, my patients, discover what's going to help you live your best life and stay in the best health. Right? So that's what we're all about. And that's what we're going to be on this journey together in this Your Healing Playground. So why did I name it Your Healing Playground? So that's what we're going to focus on today. We're going to focus on we're going to focus a little bit on me, because you got to know who I am, right? So that's the you and the I. And we're going to focus on healing and why a playground. So let's get started and dive a little bit deeper into where we're at. So who are you? You are a human. And we go through life in this logic world and we get labels put all over us, right? So who are you? Who am I, right? Are you a mother or a daughter? It was Mother's Day yesterday. Are you a son or a father? Are you big or tall, short or fat? Are you smart or not so smart? What do you do for a living? As if that defines who you are. But in our society nowadays, that's how we communicate and we become who we are. We take on this label, this identity of who we are. People, I'm a doctor. I'm so much more than a doctor, right? And you might be a teacher or a podcaster or a speaker or a businessman, a lawyer, a fertility patient. But those don't define who you are at your core. Those are these labels that get put on you. And I always joke that when a baby is born, it gets to be celebrated for being on day one of life. So it's born, and there's all this excitement up prior to its birth, and then it's born, and it's like, oh my God, this is really a miracle. There's this baby, and it's got a head, and it's got its arms, and its legs, and 5 fingers, and five fingers on each hand, 10 fingers, 10 toes. And everybody is so excited for this baby. And it gets to just be and lie there, and everybody's celebrating. And by day one, what's your baby doing? Did it suckle? Did it pee? Did it poop? Did it cry? Did it sleep? Literally, it doesn't get 24 hours to truly be and bask in the being. And what are we really when we're born and through our lives, but so much more than this physical body, right? We're a mind body full of thoughts. Who knows what the babies think? They don't know how to verbalize it, but their mind must be having electric potentials. There must be some thoughts. There's this physical body, which is a miraculous connection of cells and organs and organelles and the electricity flowing between all of the parts. It's just a miracle that we're made and born, right? And we're this huge heart, this heart that starts it all. It's the first thing that I ever see on ultrasound to document that there's a live born in that mom's tummy. We literally start with a heart. And our heart, the energy that flows from the heart extends through 3 feet beyond our physical body. It's so much stronger than our mind's energy. So we forget we're love and we're the sound wave of the heart. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. And then what's the difference between a live born and something that's not alive? It's that energy, the spirit. It's the connection to the energy that who we are. Right? And so we are a mind body, we are a physical body, we are a heart body, and we are this spirit, this true spirit. So When you think about it, we're the universe in human form. We're 67% water. So we are water. We're the river and the snow and the rain in human form. We're earth. We're carbon molecules, just like the earth itself, just like the landmass itself. We're air, the space between all our cells, all the air we breathe, the oxygen and the nitrogen and the carbon dioxide. My breath is your breath is my breath. China had COVID first, and it passed all around this huge planet of ours. We are all connected through breath, right? And we're fire. I just talked about the electricity and the energy that keeps me alive, you alive, the lightning in the sky, the volcanic energy of the earth. Your aliveness is fire. So you are earth, air, water, and fire in this miraculous human form. Check out your pets, your cats, your dogs, maybe your snakes and your lizards. They are the universe in their form. Check out a tree. Did you know that the fingerprint, your fingerprint, put next to the tree rings fingerprint, if you cut a tree and you look at the tree rings, you put those two photographs together, your fingerprint and the tree's fingerprint, and you would not be able to tell in a photograph what was human and what was tree. We are all the universe in this unique form. So whether it's a unique human, one to another, or a unique life form, one to another, you are the universe. So I just want you to take 3 deep breaths, really feeling into the fact that you are as expansive as this entire universe. So let's just slow down, get back in our bodies. I live in my head. I'm nervous. I'm nervited, right? Nervous and excited to do this podcast. I'm going to ground myself with 3 deep breaths, and I invite you to do it. So I'm going to breathe in through my nose. I'm going to hold at the top and breathe out very slowly through my mouth. Let's breathe in for that was a 4 count. Now I'm going to hold. That was a 4 count. And now I'm going to breathe out for 6. And take a little break. 1, 2. And I'm going to do that again. You can look at my fingers as I go in. And hold. And exhale. And hold. And one more time. And hold. And exhale. And right now it's time for a break. So I invite you to take some breaths on your break. It's our first break of the show. When we return, we will discuss who I am as your host. We'll discuss a little more about healing and a reminder that your body has the capacity for self-healing. We're going to discuss play and why playing in the playground of life is essential to your healing. And it's more than just surviving in life. It's about thriving during your life. Just remember, you are listening to Your Healing Podcast with Dr. Tina Koopersmith as your host. That's me on the Inspired Choices Network. And when we return, we will continue to discuss your healing playground and why this podcast is aptly named. We will be right back.
Your Healing Playground is the space where science, spirit, and sensation dance together. Your host, Dr. Tina Koopersmith, physician, coach, healer, and play advocate, returns weekly to remind you that healing isn't just about pills and protocols. Western medicine is just one of many healing modalities. True wellness is about energy, emotion, pleasure, and play. On this show, Dr. Tina explores the playground of your body, mind, heart, and soul. From neuroscience to sensuality, from root chakra to real talk. She'll share tools, stories, and soulful strategies to shift you out of fear and back into joy. Because if you're alive and breathing, your story is still unwritten, and you deserve to write it with love. Together, you'll learn to breathe, feel, and play your way back to wellness, because you are your best healer.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is your healing playground with Dr. Tina Koopersmith. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to info@womensreproduction.com. Now, back to our program.
Welcome back, everyone. If you can remember, I am Dr. Tina Koopersmith on your healing podcast, Playground. And today we are just getting started with our playground. We are talking to you about your personalized healing plan and why and how you can heal and why playing on the playground is the way to do it. And so let's get back to our discussion. Today, you're getting to know me as your host, and I hope you're getting to know you in a little more intimate way, right? I talked about labels and who we are, and I talked about healing. And let me tell you, at the break, what did I do? I danced, I breathed, I really tried to get out of my head and back in my body, because it's in my body where I truly feel safe. And it's in my head where I'm judging myself for umpteen years. My little judge, my little child, my little one is always watching out for my safety. And she spent a lot of her life judging, running the commentary in the brain. Am I doing it okay? Am I going to get an A? Am I going to get love? Am I going to be all right? And you know what? That judge is so important to our health, because if you touch a hot stove, you need to pull your hand away really fast. If you trip and fall, you got to put your hands down so you don't break your face. You get a wound on your hand. So having a survival mechanism, having a judge, always checking out your environment. And sometimes you miss and you trip and you fall and you have to protect yourself, as I did last night at the end of my run, where I tripped over my feet, tripped over the curb, and almost, well, I tasted the dust of the ground, but I didn't hurt my face because that survival mechanism was active. And that survival mechanism, that brain, that hypervigilant me, is so important to my wellness when I need it. But when it's safe, it is time to turn off the survival commentary. It's time to play. It's time to be in this body. This body. Who am I, right? I told you I have all these labels. And I told you I'm the daughter of a surgeon, a general surgeon, a tyrannical general surgeon. I say he ran our household like he ran the operating room. You better do it his way or you're going to get in trouble. I was 5 when I was having my first hot dog. Maybe it wasn't my first, I don't know. But do you know, children like ketchup more than mustard, so I put ketchup on my hot dog. Not in my household. My household, you need mustard and sauerkraut on that hot dog. Guess what? I was not safe in this little body all the time. I was terrified of my father. I got in trouble for eating ketchup. Now, I laugh because when you think about hot dogs, they're not the safest food. So if you add some bitterness with mustard and you add a probiotic like sauerkraut, you actually make the hot dog a little bit healthier for you. So little did my father know, he was teaching me a touch about nutrition. I don't think that's what he meant to do. He just meant to tell me, do things like I do them. And so I followed his path very much so as I became a surgeon myself as a gynecologist. But what did I do with that little child inside that made a mistake? Well, I rebelled. Me and anger, I don't get angry, I rebel. And so I do things my own way. So you're going to learn that along this way, the stuff I talk about, it's not standard Western medicine because I learned to think for myself and do things my way, only perhaps to maybe deep down piss my father off, right? And guess what? I adore my father. I said he was a tiger and terrifying when I was a child. But by the time we said goodbye to him at 89 years, 10 years ago, this month, he was a teddy bear. And really deep inside, he was a teddy bear. But my little one was scared of him. And so that shaped me. And how I've changed my stories over the years continues to shape and mold and remold me. And so I invite all of us to spend time with the stories from childhood and rewrite them for our own best interest. So I don't think of my father as a tyrannical, angry surgeon. He was a teddy bear in this body of a man, and he literally had fear every day in the OR, making sure that he kept his patients well. And that was a lot of pressure on him. And he wanted to do the best job he could. And so having a tight, controlling ship was really important for him. And I never understood as a child. The nurses adored him. And I was like, he's terrifying. How could you adore him? And his patients. Oh my God, the room was filled with people at his funeral who had been his patients over all time. And in my neighborhood, people knew who he was as a really respected surgeon. And I didn't get it as a kid. But if you're going to the OR, you want a man who pays attention to detail. You want a man who practices his craft. You want a man who has confidence so you can relax your nervous system to be healed in the OR, right? The nurses wanted to know when they got a patient that came from my father in the OR that he had paid attention to detail and they were not going to have somebody bleeding out during the night because he had tied every knot of every blood vessel. And so he, even though he was tyrannical, he relaxed their nervous system. So let's get back to you and your nervous system and who you are, because you heal your body. Yes, my father was a surgeon, but what do you do in surgery? You re-traumatize that patient's body. You're cutting it. You're making it bleed. You're taking out parts. That's what I do as a surgeon as well. And what I learned is you and your body have to heal. Let me tell you some stories about that. When I did my very first tubal reversal, that's microscopic surgery. You're dealing with these teeny weeny 8-0 suture. You got to look through a microscope. Now, I had been a surgeon for 4 years by this time, but I was just learning to use the microscope. And my first time, I had a mentor, and she was a good surgeon, but this was new for me, operating with this teeny tiny suture. And I wasn't sewing as a kid. I was not a crafty girl. My mom, that's another whole story about how I realized I rejected a lot of my mom's teachings when I was a girl trying to be more like my dad. And so here I was, 4 hours for that first surgery. I put my life into it all, but it took 4 hours to tie these tubes. Now, 4 months later, the same operation, 45 minutes to 60 minutes. It was quick, in, out, easy, easy anatomy, easy peasy. I still loved my patient, loved the surgery. And lo and behold, that first patient, she got pregnant pretty soon after surgery. The second patient, when surgery went so smoothly, it was so easy, it was like textbook, could have been videotaped to put in the textbooks, and her tubes were blocked afterwards. Now, I blamed myself originally because that was the inner judge. I did something wrong. But with years and years of my own therapy, I realized I can't heal another. Healing happens in the connection. I put my love, my energy, my healing tools into your body. And then your body has to do the healing. And your body has to choose to heal. And so that second patient, I don't know what blocked her healing, but she didn't let the same love in as the first patient. Now, let me tell you a second story I recently heard that had nothing to do with me. There's a man, Mo Gaudelet. He helped invent AI. This man is brilliant. He was part of the Google team, and he tells his story about his own healing journey and how his young son helped him recover from deep depression. You see, Mo had it all. By the age of 28, he had a family, he had kids, he had all the money in the world, he had prestige, he had a career he loved, and still he wasn't happy. And his 8-year-old son nursed him back to health, teaching him more ancient wisdom about love and self-love and connection and all the things. And it was beautiful to hear this story. And he nursed himself back to a great place. And he had such love and connection with this son. And lo and behold, at age 21, this son got appendicitis. Now, they were in Dubai with amazing medical care. The man had every monetarily could buy the best medicine. He had surgery. The appendix had not ruptured. But this boy, and I call him a boy because he was only 21 and his frontal lobe hadn't fully developed. We say it happens at 26. This 21-year-old boy who was everything to his father died after surgery for an appendicitis. Now, did the surgeon make a mistake? Did the nurses make a mistake? Did the universe make a mistake? I truly believe this 21-year-old decided not to heal, that it was his time to go dust to dust. He told his sister 2 weeks before he was ready to become one with the oneness of all that is. So I invite us that it's our body that does the healing, and we need to be in the right state to choose life or death, to choose sickness or health. And have we seen people who are so well in their body going through life, hypochondriacal, always finding illness, and people who have terminal illnesses that are living life with gusto and total wellness? So I invite you that wellness and illness is all about perspective in your brain. Pain and pleasure is your perspective, and we'll talk about that as we come back. But now it's time for break number 2. Time for me to take a dance break. When we return, we're going to discuss more about healing and how your body heals and how your body can have the capacity to self-heal. And we will talk again about play and why playing is so essential to you thriving in your life. Again, you are listening to Your Healing Playground, the podcast with Dr. Tina Koopersmith. Again, that's me, and we are on the Inspired Choices Network. And when we return, we will continue to discuss Your Healing Playground and why this podcast is aptly named. Have a nice dance break and listen to our music.
Your Healing Playground is the space where science, spirit, and sensation dance together. Your host, Dr. Tina Koopersmith, physician, coach, healer, and play advocate, returns weekly to remind you that healing isn't just about pills and protocols. Western medicine is just one of many healing modalities. True wellness is about energy, emotion, pleasure, and play. On this show, Dr. Tina explores the playground of your body, mind, heart, and soul. From neuroscience to sensuality, from root chakra to real talk. She'll share tools, stories, and soulful strategies to shift you out of fear and back into joy. Because if you're alive and breathing, your story is still unwritten, and you deserve to write it with love. Together, you'll learn to breathe, feel, and play your way back to wellness, because you are your best healer.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Your Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Koopersmith. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to info@womensreproduction.com. Now, back to our program.
Welcome back. We've done 2 segments. How amazing is that? Welcome back. I am Dr. Tina Koopersmith on Your Healing Playground. And today, on today's podcast, we are just getting started. We are talking about you and how you can create your healing, your personalized healing plan, why and how you can heal, and how it's up to you to do your healing. And don't rely on someone else to heal you. Not the doctor, not the acupuncturist, not the essential oil person, not your massage therapist, not your hairstylist. You have to do your healing. And how the playground and play is where that healing happens. So let's get back to talking a little bit more about that personalized medicine plan and who you are, right? We live in a world of labels, as I told you, and we live in Western medicine logic, stiffness, if you will, and we need to have that. The masculine in all of us is the riverbanks, holding us still, giving us structure. We need our organs to give the energy in our body structure. And the river's always flowing through us. That's our emotions and our thoughts. And they are coming and going and coming and going. And woo, that is life. That's the feminine in us. So we are all masculine and feminine. We are the riverbanks and the river, right? We are physical and energy. We are body and spirit. We are organs. We see those organs. But it's the electrons that are moving in those cells that are actually keeping us alive. It's that electricity, right? Now, when we're in Western medicine, we are so used to having diagnoses, right? in what is a diagnosis? It's someone somewhere put together all these signs and symptoms, right? Things that doctors can see and feel. Those are the symptoms. You bring your signs. You bring the story and the complaints to the doctor. And then we name it. Oh, you have diabetes. Oh, you have depression. Oh, you have anxiety, OCD. You have cancer, right? Those are labels. Those are words. Those are literally just names, just like me saying, I'm Tina. I'm a doctor. Well, I'm Tina and a doctor, but it's so much more than Tina the doctor. I'm also the mom, and I'm the writer, and I'm your freaking podcast host today, right? So these names that we give ourselves, these are labels that get stuck in ourselves. And sound is everything. It is a wave. But sound hits us, whether it comes from the music outside or the cacophony of the fire engine blasting sounds or people yelling and screaming. And sound actually creates how molecules are lined up. So I learned this. I should give a shout out. It was a museum in Nashville, and it had an amazing exhibit about guitars and music because I was in Nashville, right? And it's the town of music. And I was wandering the galleries, and I ended up on the third floor in, where else? The children's experiential room, because I'm a child, and I ended up and I was by myself, not with a child. And I'm like, heck, I got time to waste. I'm going to play in the children's section. And so I did some art and some crafts. And after I made my art piece, there were these boxes next to the art exhibit for, where you make art. And so I started talking to the gentleman who was there to teach children. And I was a child because I was brand new to this museum, right? So I came with my childlike exploration, curiosity of, what am I going to learn today? What do they teach children? And lo and behold, they had these two boxes. And I'm going to bring this on a podcast one day because I want to show you what I saw. But today I'm going to describe it. So they had these two boxes, and they were enclosed, and the boxes were glass enclosed. So you could, it was probably plexiglass, and it was just sand at the bottom of the box. But there was sound that was piping into these plexiglass boxes. And you change the frequency of the sound as it was piped into these boxes. Now, depending on the frequency of sound, the sand molecules made one picture. They lined up. The sound molecules actually moved through the plexiglass and made the sand change position and made a picture, one way. Then you change the frequency of sound, and the sand realigned to show another design. Now, they had these two boxes next to each other because they actually showed that if you played the same frequency in the two boxes, you got the same picture. But if you played different frequencies, they were different. Now, I invite you to understand your human form. You are sound waves. You are always listening to your voice. That's a sound wave. You are bombarded with external reality of sound. And those are sounds that are coming in. Those are aligning your molecules in your cells. Now, we talk about being water in our body, and that 67% of our bodies are water. And that's true, but it's a kind of water that we don't see outside our bodies. Now, we cut ourselves and we don't see water pouring out, but it's more of this viscous jelly-like substance in the cells. Kind of, look at when you get blood, and you spin blood, you have to separate out the blood cells from the serum, and the serum is more liquidy and the blood is more viscous and gel-like. But as it's in all your cells, it's mixed together, right? And so we have this more gel-like water in our cells, and that gel-like water allows the organelles in the cells to line up in a pattern so that they can better communicate with each other. And so the sound that we listen to affects the gel-like patterns in our cells. Simultaneously, let's think about the sound waves and the waves that we have from our heart, because our heart emanates waves. I told you the ba-bum, 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 ba-bum of your heart. That is music, right? It is sound. If you listen to frogs, I was at a retreat last weekend and I was listening to the music of the frogs. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. It's music. When you go into a forest, there's lots of noise, and you have to either be comfortable with all the sounds of the forest or you get really tense and scared because of the noises. So when you walk into a room full of people and they're all in a positive, explosive, expansive, curious, childlike laughter state, their heart rate variability rises, and that energy that is emanating from their body, if you graph it, it's a beautiful sine wave. It's a symphony. And you walk into the room and you feel uplifted and good, and you don't even know why, but you left and you're like, that was good. Now, simultaneously, let's flip the switch and you walk into a business meeting and everybody's arguing and they're not getting their, and everybody's talking over each other and nobody's listening and there's no empathy. It's just competition of my idea, your idea, my idea, your idea. If you graphed the heart rate variability coming from those souls, it would be all over the place cacophony. And we're going to spend an entire podcast probably talking about heart rate variability. But I invite you that your health, your healing depends on the sound you listen to. So are you listening and surrounding yourself with uplifting, positive energy? Or are you constantly berating yourself, stressed out to the max because of the thoughts you're focusing on, or surrounding yourself with people who are very competitive, angry, victimized, in their own personal judge, having low heart rate variability, and there's cacophony all the time. And so I invite you to find out who you are, find out what your nervous system, how do you vibrate? Do you vibrate on a higher plane with this beautiful music? Or do you vibrate in this stressed out, oh my God, the sky is falling and we are going to pot and everything's going to screw up and we're going extinct? Because what you focus on becomes your reality. And I invite you to have the reality that you get to create the life you live, you get to create the body you live in. And even in the muck, you can play in the mud. On that note, we're going to take a break. It is time for our third break of the show. When we return, we are going to discuss a little bit more about playing on that playground of life and how getting into that mode of play and empathy and curiosity is essential to your thriving. Remember, you are listening to Your Healing Playground, the podcast with Dr. Tina Koopersmith. That's me on the Inspired Choices Network. And when we return, we are going to continue to discuss all about healing and you and your playground of life. And we will be right back. Next week, we will discuss root cause healing and why Western medicine is just one point in the puzzle. I also invite you, I have 2 master classes coming up next week on Ozempic and how women can lose weight without pills and shots. And the week after, we are discussing conscious fertility and how you can supercharge your chances using breath and more on your fertility journey. Let's go to break.
Your Healing Playground is the space where science, spirit, and sensation dance together. Your host, Dr. Tina Koopersmith, physician, coach, healer, and play advocate, returns weekly to remind you that healing isn't just about pills and protocols. Western medicine is just one of many healing modalities. True wellness is about energy, emotion, pleasure, and play. On this show, Dr. Tina explores the playground of your body, mind, heart, and soul. From neuroscience to sensuality, from root chakra to real talk. She'll share tools, stories, and soulful strategies to shift you out of fear and back into joy. Because if you're alive and breathing, your story is still unwritten, and you deserve to write it with love. Together, you'll learn to breathe, feel, and play your way back to wellness, because you are your best healer.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back.
This is Your Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Koopersmith. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to info@womensreproduction.com. Now, back to our program.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. We are just about in our last segment of The Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Koopersmith. That's me, but we are just getting started. I want to let you know we're going to talk a little bit more about playing right now. Next week, we will talk about root cause healing and going deep into how you heal yourself. If you're enjoying this show, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Search Your Healing Playground. I will be so grateful. This will assist in getting this information out to all those that need it. And that's really what I'm all about. I'm about learning and sharing love. I am love, but I am about giving love. That's how I feel it. It's giving love, right? So we're talking about you and me. I am you, you are me. We are one with another. We are what we focus on. We become what we focus on. So if we focus on our diagnoses and our diseases, we become our diagnosis and our diseases, and we go deeper and deeper into the mud of illness. And instead, if we look at illness and the mud and the fertilizer and the muck as fertilizer for growth and transformation and opportunity for change, then we see that literally is fertilizer for your growth. And when you fall deep down, the only way to go is up, or you get sucked in deeper into the muck. And it's all your choice. It's how you flip the switch. And I want to invite you that you can heal, and you can heal yourself. We are the human forms of the universe. Let's look at our non-human forms. I loved the movie My Octopus Teacher. The octopus almost died. He got his arm cut off. Terrifying, awful. But he didn't run to the doctor. He ran and hibernated. And he didn't see his friend for a while. He needed to take all his energy and cocoon himself into a healing state so he could regrow his limb and not die. Now, there are people who talk about their near-death experiences when they've gone into an altered state, when they've gone into a coma. What do we do when we're comatose? We go inward, and we actually probably turn off a lot of the thinking brain. Our brain is like 2% by weight of our body, but it takes 20% of our energetic resources. So those resources are not available to heal the rest of the body. So sometimes that coma is our own cocooning to heal the body. How many of us, when we're sick, don't take time off? I spent so many days under the weather, still trudging through, going to work. I never call in sick because my patients need me. They probably need me in a healthier state, not in a sick state. I still remember the day I was very ill at work and had to go home. And lo and behold, that was not a great day for the patients who I had cared for before I went home, right? I wasn't fully present because I needed to be in presence to me. I was ill and I needed to take the day off. And so I invite you to recognize rest and movement. We need them both. Illness is time to heal yourself in some way, shape, or form. It's your body asking you to take some time off and heal. If you can look at every illness, every dis-ease in the body as your body actually asking you to pivot, to change, to do something a little differently, so it is no longer living in dis-ease, but rather is living a life of ease. So I believe we've lost the language that the microbiome teaches us. It is talking to us all the time. When we feel a little bit off, when it's whispering at us that something is just off, we need to stop. We need to slow down, tune in, observe, and pay attention. Did you get that? Stop, slow down, tune in, observe, and pay attention. That is the language of our body talking to us. But we're so busy in our head. We're so busy listening to everything outside. We forget to stop. Stop, slow down, tune in, observe, and heal. Slow down, tune in, observe, and pay attention. Pay attention. That's the stop. S-T-O-P. And when we stop, and when we start trusting our bodies to heal, trust, tune into the body, retell our story, understand who we really are, the universe in human form. S, support. Life is a team sport. We need to reach out and touch someone, literally, figuratively, energetically. And T, turn on. When we are turned on in play, happy, dancing, in that symphony of life, the body will heal. So in trust, we heal. On our $1 bill, in God we trust. I'm going to say, in you I trust. In you I trust. Through stop, slow down, tune in, observe, and pay attention so you can trust. Tune in to the body, retell your story, understand who you really are, understand and listen. Find your support tribe and turn yourself on. So yes, we can tune in and turn on. And turning on is turning our mitochondria on. That's the inner child in all our cells. That's moving the electricity all around. It's feeding literally feeding ourselves with energy, with love, with turn on. So play and pleasure is your birthright. When we act like a child and play, we can heal ourselves. We can rewrite our stories. We can uplift our life. We can uplift our neighbor's life, because I am you and you are me. And together we stand taller. The biggest trees on this planet, those redwoods in my amazing state of California, California, they have not deep roots into the earth, but lateral roots. They go out, they reach out and touch somebody and stand tall. I invite you to call a friend today, reach out, touch someone, and you will start your healing journey today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Your Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Koopersmith. I am your host. I will be here weekly on Mondays at 8 o'clock, and I will be bringing people who are in the healing space to help you
If
heal
you
yourself.
felt something move today,
Let's do
a
it.
molecule, a mindset, or your mood, that's healing. Your body listens to your stories, your thoughts, your breath. So speak to yourself with kindness, play with curiosity, and let your nervous system know it's safe to rest. Dr. Tina returns Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, 8 Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Remember, pleasure is a practice and play is your medicine.